Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going? So today I'm gonna go ahead and kind of overview, and then briefly kind of go over some stuff. So, in case anyone's wondering, we're about to basically do a mass print of Tier 4. Now I've got about 210,000 or so right now, and as you can tell, got that much food, a little bit extra. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about all of that. Say probably up to about that much. I'll do all of these, and then about up to about that much. And we'll do all these, and then do up to about that much, just about. That's pretty close. Okay, and then this will just take the whole stack, and maybe a little bit extra, just to be sure. All right, so we're gonna basically mass print troops. One of the few things that whenever you're gonna mass print troops, for that matter, one of the few things that you always want to do is you want to put on any gear you have that has training boot speed. And in this particular case, the offhand and the main hand for champ gear happens to have this. The other thing is, of course, whenever you are going to try and mass build and do any of that kind of thing, you want to make sure you have all manners. The next thing is you want to check to see if your kingdom has a boost, and you also want to check to see if you can pop one of these. So that's going to help out immensely. Next thing, you want to go into the talent reset, and you want to make sure, okay, that your training speed is up to 30, and this is up to 35. And of course, if you haven't already, you should go out of your way to make sure you get this, as well as where you gotta get this. And then, of course, in here, you've got, obviously your training speed 1, but, you just, the little things, right? But without further ado, let's start printing troops. So I'm going to go ahead and we are just going to pop all of those and all of these. And I think that's going to cover it, hopefully. And we're going to start with tier 4s. And we're just going to keep going until we can't stop no more. So as you can tell, it's about 7 hours to an 8 hour, so I lose about an hour. So I'm going to try to avoid that if I can. Since we've only got to use a couple of these, try not to be, how do you say, I don't want to go too far out, Try to keep the number spread as even as possible, or at least where possible. So we're just going to kind of keep it even. But as you can tell, this is kind of the thing about mass printing troops, for that matter, is eventually you will, because you can see now I'm starting to run out of 8 hours. But at that point, I just go straight to pure gymming. Of course, there is a chaos event going on tonight, which is kind of cool. So we'll, at the end of this, also get some chaos medals. And so I will be getting my Chaos Dragon degree today, which would be kind of cool. As you guys all probably know, if you haven't already, I just recently got my low reaper to gold, so that is really, it has its benefits, but of course, one of the things that I was really kind of looking forward to is, I've been talking about it, is just that we're gonna basically try to build up enough tier 4 and enough tier 2 that we could start rally trapping. Obviously, it's not easy to do this, as you can tell. Even with the gems that I have, it's still kind of, well, it's hard to achieve. It really is. You can see here, we've already run out of all that food already. And we've only just began, and we're already clean dry of all that food already. And I mean, that just goes to show how quick it goes away. But so there's a day. And now we're dry on gold again, so we're going to pull into this. And that's the thing, it's kind of a balance between the two. You've got to jump, but now we're finally at a point where now it's just pure gymming across. So I'll go ahead and pour more of that in there. Yeah, okay. And now we're just straight gymming it. So at this point, I can just do this. We'll go ahead and use all of these. Use all that, and looks like we got about 28 mil, which is not a lot. Which ought to be okay though. So there's that. Okay, 264. Oh, cool. We got someone subscribed. Oh, lucky them. Well, anyway. But one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about this is that yes, it does take a lot. As you can tell, it really does. It drains your bags pretty quick. So as you can tell now, I'm kind of out of out on food at this point, so I am gonna fall short, unfortunately. Now, of course, for those of you out there that like to gym things, you could technically gym that, but not much need in doing that. Let's just do 5K, and we'll put in a day, and we'll call it good at 5K, and we'll get around to getting these up here soon enough. Until then, let's go ahead and get us a couple of tier 2s. So we'll just kind of go ahead and do that real quick. And Viola. And then I'll just have the next remaining small amount left. Anyway, so, of course, I'm back to, 680 or so? So we haven't even really gotten into our gyms by a whole lot, and there's really more than enough room for it to continue to build. But as you can tell, just to build like 50k or so in tier 4 is enough to drain about 100 mil or so across. Doesn't take a lot. But if you guys are out there are struggling to build up, and this is oftentimes the problem that you will run into, which is that you run out of resources, and I'm understandably, okay, if you're like me and you're kind of in this situation and you run out of resources, what I recommend you do at this point is you need to piggyback basically on grabbing your members and going out and actively looking for players in the kingdom that have resources. And what I've been doing is Ananda is going out and helping up the guild, and he goes out, looks for accounts that can be zeroed, and they basically go out and clean the resources off those accounts, bring the resources in from Ananda, and then it gets fed into all the other accounts that need the resources. And in my case, I take a small split of it, and so does everyone else. And it just kind of works out. But that's kind of the strategy when it comes to like trying to get resources, is you take what you get, and if you have excess, then you send that over and you just let everybody else grow. And that's really kind of an effective way to kind of, if you don't need it, use it. If you do need it, use it. And kind of that, the simple mindset of, if I'm not using it, then someone else can use it kind of mindset. Now, of course, for those of you out there, yes, of course, I haven't been able to do a whole lot of rallying yet. I promise we will be getting there pretty soon, though, because again, I've only got 264k now. It looks like we'll be pushing 300k here in a week or two, probably. More than likely we'll have, like by 300k, I'm meaning like we'll probably more than likely have, probably more than just 300k. But I mean, obviously, I can't really say for sure. But one of the things that ultimately kind of works in balance, or at least in tandem, when you're trying to build up like this, is that you got to be able to shield. Now, I happen to have a 7-day shield on right now, and so I don't necessarily need to worry about losing any of my troops, because frankly I've got kind of a perma shield going, which is working pretty well. Obviously 25,000 gems is quite a bit to spend for 2 weeks, but in my situation I'm kind of a lot of the time I'm out of time usually during the week, and only on the weekends can I actually do anything. So I kind of find myself in that situation. I don't know if everyone else is the same way, but one of the things that and again, it's like, it's one of those things where, like, obviously I still have like an hour's worth of time, so I could just keep printing troops if I wanted, assuming of course I had the resources. But again, at some point you're going to get capped, and that's kind of the unfortunate aspect to building up resources and stuff like that, is if you do have some hyper accounts, you can dump the resources on your account, wait until you get enough, rebuild, and do it all at the same time. There's not really a wrong answer when it comes to trying to actually get the resources to forage, or just do it like this, like me, where I get capped out, and so I let my resource production take care of the rest. Of course, not having anything in the food area is kind of a problem, so you always got to be able to find a way to clear that out. And I really don't recommend people like pull from their bags this regularly. I mean, really, you shouldn't in general. And I say that because generally speaking, you're going to want to use that food and all the other resource types when you're in repair mode. Now, part of the reason why I'm using the bags right now is because I don't intend to get in a fight anytime soon, and so it's not necessarily a problem to be pulling in that much, because until I can really get a steady flow of resources into this account, I really can't do anything otherwise. But, of course, one of the things that I do recommend you guys do, though, is just be mindful of the sigil-tastic event that I've been telling you about. Because, again, getting to the particular, obviously we've been talking about how the sigils could be a pretty big deal, but most importantly, the Phantom Knights are going to be a really helpful, and frankly, it's going to be an incredibly decent event. And I expect that I'll easily come out of this with a lot of good stuff. Hopefully, we'll get a lot of jewel chests, and so we'll kind of see where that takes us. Because again, I mean, I'm loaded with energy at the moment. I'm doing a little over, I think, somewhere close to 3 mil in energy, which I'm really happy about. But again, it's just something to think about and just kind of look forward to in the following event coming up here in a few days. But needless to say, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Check out these videos, and I'll see you guys next time.